Hi BookTube, my name's Nadine and welcome to my February reading wrap up. I've attempted to film this several times already today, but due I think to the fact that my head is pounding like crazy, words are not easy. So fingers crossed this time I actually managed to speak coherently. We will see. So as always I will start with the books that I don't have here physically to show you. But these are two books that I've already spoken about in another video and I'll link that down below, and that was Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which I just loved from start to finish, which really surprised me actually because I'm generally not a lover of romance novels, but I really enjoyed the way it kind of played with the tropes of romance. It was a very playful book actually, and the main character Nora and her love interest Charlie, it was a joy to follow on with them. Their banter was so snarky and fun, and my dog is now barking because of course, why wouldn't you when you're filming? Have a good bark. But yeah, so I really enjoyed that from start to finish. It was brilliant. The other book I read was Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, which I liked. This followed Kaya from a very young age up until her death really, and it explored sort of how she survived in isolation and with prejudice in a harsh environment, both harsh in terms of growing up in marshland and also harsh in terms of the people that surrounded her. I can see why this book got so much hype, however it didn't quite tick all the boxes for me. I'm just going to go and sort my doggos out and then I'll be back to tell you about the other books. Okay, I'm back. The dogs have partaken in their luncheon, so hopefully, other than a bit of pacing around, they should be quite happy now. So yeah, I think I've just spoken about Where the Crawdads Sing. I read both of those for my 50 States reading challenge for the North Carolina part of that, so I will link that video down below. Next then, we've got just all physical. Might as well just start at the top of the pile. So this was a really fun read, and that was The Prisoner of Zenda by Anthony Hope. I read this for Roger's Cheap Old Book Club. That's run by Michael K. Vaughan and his good friend Roger. I will link their announcement video for that down below in case you haven't checked it out and you want to. But this was so fun. Excellent way to kick off this new book club. It follows Rudolph Rassendyll, who is this kind of bored English gentleman. He decides to go to Ruritania, where his family are from originally, and see what it's all about. And there he meets the prince, who is about to be crowned king, and things happen, and Rudolph, who looks strikingly similar to his like distant cousin, swaps places, and so he becomes king, and from there lots of adventure ensues. This was so much fun. I couldn't put this down. I really want to read, I think there's another book that follows this, so yeah, I really want to read that as well now. So fantastic, thank you Michael for picking that one. I really loved it. Next one that I didn't love as much, Versailles by Elizabeth Massie. So this is set in 17th century France following the Civil War there. King Louis XIV decides to turn the family's hunting lodge into the Grand Palace of Versailles and sort of create a new life there. And that's, you know, from where he's going to rule France. But he is kind of plotted against constantly by members of his own court. What does she want now? You've eaten! What is it? So yeah, it was an okay read. I ended up actually audiobooking this because I wasn't feeling massively motivated to pick it up and see what happened next, so I kind of just, this was my washing up book. So yeah, it was okay. I'm not particularly inclined to check out the TV series based on it, which is a shame because I think Elizabeth Massie wrote books based around the Tudors TV show. I didn't read any of those books, but I did love the Tudors TV show because I was sort of hoping it would be kind of similar and that I might then, you know, find a new addiction, but wasn't to be, unfortunately. It just wasn't that exciting. For such an exciting period of history, it just didn't feel very exciting to read. Next up then is a book that I read for GarbAugust 1.5, which just seems like ages ago that happened now. And that was Night Show by Richard Laymon. Again, I've talked about this in another video. It was like my first reading vlog that I've ever done, so I'll link that down below in case you want to check it out. But I really enjoyed it, actually. It followed mainly a character called Danny, who works in the horror movie industry in Hollywood, and she's being stalked by this maniac. But yeah, it was a fun read, really fun. I'm looking forward to reading the other book in this. Next up, I finished the Randolph Carter Tales by H.P. Lovecraft, which I haven't read Lovecraft for years and years, and it's just been such a joy to dip back into. Randolph Carter, I think, is one of his most frequently occurring characters in his short stories. And I think he's kind of Lovecraft's alter ego. Randolph Carter is kind of an obscure writer and a student of the occult who is constantly faced with, you know, these otherworldly horrors and cats. But yeah, that was a really fun read. If you haven't read any Lovecraft before, I would recommend it if you're into horror. Next we have Wereblood by Eric Iverson. This is the first book in, I don't know how long the series is actually, I've not checked it out, but it's about Gerin the Fox. Gerin is the leader of his people, and they come under attack by this warlike people called the Troc Moi, and they're being led by this crazed wizard Balamung. So in order to try and survive them, Gerin decides that he needs to travel to this other city of Elabon to enlist the aid of the sorcerer there. So yeah, first part of the series, it was quite an enjoyable read, and it's so short as well, just a nice one to sort of throw in between other things. And I'm going to go and see what my little penny bear wants, and I'll be back again. Hi guys, back again. Sorry about that. My dog is absolutely fine, by the way. She's just really greedy and is trying to nag me into another lunch. So yeah. Finally then, I read The City Not Long After by Pat Murphy. This was a really interesting read. It is set about 20 years, I would say, after a plague has wiped out most of the population in the States. And the people that have survived it are set up in different settlements. So America as we know it is not there anymore. It's just these separate settlements. And then there's this general who wants to unite all of these settlements back into one state again, you know, conveniently under his rule. And this young girl, who is nameless, after her mother dies, her mother tells her that she should go to San Francisco, where her mother was from originally, and warn them that war is coming from this general, and to do everything she can to help them. And so the girl does that. She makes the journey. She goes to San Francisco, and there finds a settlement made up of artists. And there she finds belonging, a belonging that she's never had before. And so, yeah, when the general comes, they wage war, but they insist on waging war in their own way. And so, yeah, it was really interesting. It explores a lot of themes of sort of love and renewal and revolution and the power of art, I guess. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that one. So that was The City, Not Long After by Pat Murphy. And then I've just got a couple of comics that I finished off. This Alien series, which I really enjoyed. And then I read the first of Moon, which I didn't enjoy at all. The Ghost of Lee Van Cleef. So I didn't like the art style, and it was just boring. But I do have quite a few of these, I think. So I'm going to look at the next one, and then if I don't like it, I'm just going to get rid of them. So that is that. I think that's everything. Other than that, I'm just sort of continuing with the selected poems of the Brontes. I finished reading Charlotte's poems, which were great. And I think next I'm going to be reading Branwell's. And then I'm still, every so often, picking this up, late Victorian Gothic tales, and sort of reading another one of those. I think I only read one last month, which was my first Rudyard Kipling, actually. And I never quite registered that I hadn't read any Rudyard Kipling. And it was Mark of the Beast. So yeah, that was good fun. Other than that, I think that's everything. I've got a few videos to film and put up this week. So what you can expect this week is obviously this one, and I will be continuing my bookshelf tour, so I'll be doing my sci-fi books next. Even though I said there wasn't going to be a book haul, there's going to be a book haul, all free. I haven't bought a thing, and also tag video, because I've been tagged in 3 videos lately. So I'm super popular, such a famous YouTuber. It's amazing. But yeah, I just think it's lovely when people think of me to tag. However, I'm not going to be doing one of those this week because my head is pounding, and yeah, words. So I will be doing a tag, but I'm going to do another one that I saw, but that looked a bit easier. So yeah, there'll be a few videos from me this week. So that is everything though for this one, and let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought of them, and I will catch you next time. Bye!